This little emerger has done pretty amazing work for me. Predominantly it was a river fly, however I've been using it on still waters as well. A little syndicate that I've got, it's been pretty spectacular. It's just an incredibly effective emerger, ridiculously so. And I think a lot of that's got to do with the weird hackling that I've come up with. I say I've come up with, I probably haven't. It's probably been somewhere before. But I tried mucking about with flexi-floss and different bits of yarn and everything, but my eventual way of doing the hackle has worked really well for me. So let's go ahead and tie it. I've got in the vise a size 14 check nymph hook. Any sort of granny hook, sedgy hook will do. I just like this one. And all I'm going to do first of all is get in a bed of tying thread. Just making sure that the whole body's covered. I'll go up this 2 or 3 times just to be sure. Because my eyesight is not what it used to be, and I desperately need a new pair of glasses. So back up, a little bit more open turns now. And then I've got this stuff, magic quills, and all it is a synthetic see-through quill, like so. Take a strip off. And what I would say here is, when you're using this stuff, you've got a thin end, you see you've got a thin end and a thicker end. You want to be halfway down, just so you can really see that line, the segmentation effect, that's what you're looking for. So if I trim that halfway down, like so, and then butt it in on the hook. Cover that, the tying in bits, the plastic, with your tying in thread. I think I missed a bit there. And then bring it up, giving yourself a lot of space up here. So all I'll do is I'll stick a whip finishing up here, just to lock it off. There we go. And then we've got to wind this out. I'm just going to tilt this a little bit so you can see what on earth I'm doing. And then up. Be careful of that thread. I'll show you the results shortly. Secure it. So if I bring this back now, you see that we've got the segmentation. And with your scissors, and tidy up. I've then got some Glow Bright number 5. Now this works it works on various emergents, but I tend to fish it at sedge time. It will work on olives though. It will work on olives. So all I've got is just I've got it doubled over, nothing more. Anything more than that's overkill. Catch it in behind the eye and just cover the whole lot up. Coming down to a point opposite the hook point. Coming in trim as close as you dare. And then just a little snip, your tiny little tag there, teeny tiny tootsie. So now I've got this is a genetic cock feather grizzle, and I want it quite big. So to the barb of the the same as the gap of the hook, but I want to use this thick stuff up here because that's what I'm going to tie on. And it's quite fiddly, but it's really, really worth it. So just come up, make sure it's right on the back, and then pull both. Don't worry about any stray fibres, and as if you would with Antron or Aero Dry Wing or Poly, I forget what it's called, but basically building a little base with these feathers, working back down. It's really fiddly. It's probably way better with a gallows tool. I can't be doing with gallows tools. Anything that gets in my way, really. I've slipped up the fibres there. So, coming in either side, and I'll trim any of the spare fibres there. Most of these will get tied in with the fly anyway. But there you go. I've then got some squirrel mixed with a little bit of hare's ear. This has got to come up through my thorax. So a nice tight dubbing rope. And I've got two turns of dubbing behind, and then the rest of the dubbing up to the eye, back through, creating a bigger thorax area. To make it even more secure, bring your thread through, tight turns, you're never going to see it, tight turns, and then your little tying off point here. So you've covered that area up. So now what we're going to do is, if we were hackling, we've got to use the stem as our post, and this is even more fiddly than the first bit, but it saves Antron being there. You just come round, working down, lots of turns, right down and into the thorax, always on top of the hook shank. So I've probably got 10 turns there, and I'm going to marry everything back up here, like so. So I've got everything in one hand, pull all the fibres back that we can, and we're going to secure in just behind the eye here, using my thumb as a guide, so the thread sliding down my thumb, like so. And you can see that massive stack of hackle there. So I'm just going to tidy this bit up now. Come in with my scissors, snip it off, pull everything back so I get a good look at it. It's looking good. And then we'll just get a whip finish in here. I'll show you the fly, how it looks. You can get another bit of dubbing in there should you wish it. And then just with your thumb, come down and separate the fibres. And you can see there, so when I turn this, you'll see what I mean. This is an emerger, is one of my favourites. It looks an awful mess on the top. However, if you look at a lot of the really good dry flies, they do look like that. However, this sits perfect. It sits flush in the water with this much coming underneath the body, or coming underneath the surface of the water, with that tiny little trigger orange. It's such a good fly. And once it's been taken a couple of times, because it's a stiffish cock fibre, you just give it a little bit of frog's fanny or some other desiccant. A great fly that works great on rivers and lakes. Pain to tie, however, it's very, very effective. I really hope you enjoyed that, folks. If you did, please be kind enough to subscribe to my channel. Take care, and bye-bye.